What is going on, everybody? Welcome to a beautiful Monday here on the GG Sports Podcast.
Let's go.
First Monday of June. Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah was not lying when he said he wanted to make sure Justin Jefferson got a whole month when it came to his extension, a whole month to celebrate Justin Jefferson's birthday month. Justin Jefferson is back with the Minnesota Vikings on a 4-year extension, which we'll get into the money and the details a little bit later here. But at the end of the day, I'm happy this is done, especially on the week of mandatory minicamp. Because I know, we were having the discussion on Wednesday where if he doesn't show up for mandatory minicamp, you start getting worried, with all the rumors and speculation from everyone in the media in May when it's the slowest news month that there is, trying to grasp at straws, come up with something to talk about. So all the Justin Jefferson trade rumors came up. I'm happy we can put those all in the rearview mirror, put them all in the back seat, move forward. The best wide receiver in the league is back with the Minnesota Vikings. I couldn't be happier. What a great way to start off the week on a Monday.
Yeah, man, we've been getting kind of lucky with our live streams. Last Wednesday, because we're going every other week right now. Last Wednesday, we got Dalton Reisner on that day, and then of course, the big Justin Jefferson news. But before we keep moving on here, let me do some shout outs because our boy Gary was in here earlier on here. I'll come down to my guy right there in a second here. What's up, Skol mates? What up, Gary? Our guy. Let's go. JJ is here to stay at least for the next 5 years or
5 years,
4 or 5 years, whatever. 5 years. He'll be here longer probably. Because it's about to be the best 5-year stretch by a wide receiver in NFL history. You know what I'm saying? Let's go, Gary, with the hashtag Skol. Unfortunately, I am out of Justin. For like the first year, I only gave away Justin Jefferson rookie cards. I don't have any. But, of course, we still got the J.J. McCarthy Bowman first Michigan rookie card. So get the hashtag Skol in the comments. Like the video if you have not already. All that good stuff. We'll give away that at the end of the show. Cue the music. Hey, my guy, Skol for life, Barber. What's up, my dude? Kind Tick 615. Yes, dude. Yes, yeah. Finally getting the notification. Yeah, I don't know why it does that, man. But I'm happy you're in here. Let's go. Man, things are looking. Am I missing anyone? Hey, Darren, face of the franchise. 18 locked up. Well deserved. Hashtag Skol. Let's go, Darren. Let's go, dude. Huge, in my opinion. I know there are some people out here who, wanted him traded or whatever. I mean, we've always, that would have been a little bit maybe more understanding to me if we did have like a quarter, like if we decided to pay Kirk Cousins more money or something like that, where you just can't afford to have him. But when you have a quarterback on rookie contract and Sam Darnold, who's I guess 1 year contract, whatever. I think it kind of gives you the flexibility to use that money on stars from other positions. And that's exactly what we needed to do. And that's exactly what we did with Justin Jefferson, who is literally just entering the prime of his career. I think that's something that not a lot of people really realize, that this kid is he's 24, right? I don't even know if it's 20. So he's 24 years old, literally the beginning of his prime. So up until like the next 5 years should be the best parts of his entire career. And that's crazy considering how good he already is. Already is the best wide receiver in the NFL. Became the best wide receiver in the NFL almost probably after his second year here. I mean, I think to start an NFL career, I think he's like 10 to 13 yards above the next player, who I think is Megatron as far as yards per game to start a career. So the kid's an absolute stud, and we're going to see even a better version of him. One that is sitting on a pile of cash. So hopefully hopefully the motivation will still be there. I'm sure he's the kind of guy that you feel like just wants to be the best. And now I think once you get over that money hump, now you don't really need to worry about that anymore. Now it's all about just going on the field and being the best player that you can be. And hopefully we see that from Justin Jefferson. But yeah, dude, no, that's huge. That's huge. I'm glad we talked about it literally last week about like, when do we think it's going to happen? When do we think it's going to be an issue if we don't see it by training camp? I know we actually remember that we felt like we had a feeling that it was going to happen before mandatory minicamp here, and that's what happened. And I'm assuming, I think he's already in the area or whatever, so I'm assuming we're going to see him there, obviously.
Well, right.
So yeah,
and like we were talking about on Wednesday, it makes a ton of sense, right? Mandatory minicamp, the first time that the entire team is like has to get together. You have a new quarterback. You have two new quarterbacks on your roster. One of them a rookie who you want to lead your future. from Justin Jefferson's perspective, it just, and the team's perspective as well, it makes the most sense to get this deal done now and don't let it drag out to training camp. Let Justin Jefferson know he's in the plans for the long term. Give him his money, and now he gets to come in here. He gets to, for the weekend, gets to hang out with his rookie quarterback, gets to catch some passes from him. And now this entire team, I mean, I guess aside from TJ Hawkinson, who's injured right now, but the entire team is complete and together. And that's the biggest thing to me. And I did think it's funny though how throughout the past couple weeks, there's all the rumors about Justin Jefferson getting traded here, getting traded there. Does he want to be here? Does he not? Is he frustrated with how slow the contract negotiations are going? Funny enough, a lot of it came from Mike Florio, who seemed to be playing a little bit of both sides. I actually saw someone on Twitter, I think it was like the Brahanian, is that how you pronounce his name? He put a picture of Mike Florio talking about both sides, and it's like they have the scene from Mac and Always Sunny. He's like, I play both sides, so I always come out on top. That's kind of how it felt to me. But it is funny how now, after the deal is set in stone and it's done and he's signed, how all these like Schefter and Rappaport and all these media outlets are coming out saying like, oh, it was a when not if when it came to this deal, and both sides were desperate to get it done. Both sides really wanted to get it done. Justin Jefferson wanted to be here. There were teams that did inquire about trades, and Kwesi, the Adolphoments, and the Vikings 100% shot those down, and that's where the conversation ended. Funny how you don't hear about any of that in May when all the speculation's coming around, but as soon as the contract is signed, you hear it. Well, imagine that the NFL needs a media news cycle in May. Imagine that. It's just so stupid to me.
Yeah. Well, that was so crazy. Go ahead. Oh, sorry. I was just going to say that was exactly like Schefter, because that's what Schefter was saying on Pat McAfee. He must have been on the golf course or something and just was like had it to pop in or whatever. But no, that's exactly what he was saying. So it's like, so Schefter, like there's just stuff he can't say, but it's like he knows what's going on back there. And then all of a sudden, yeah, like you said, as soon as this comes out, now he's allowed to just like release that no team or that we were not interested in that deal at all. And dealing Justin Jefferson at all. But yeah, it is interesting how that kind of works out, where it's like, okay, I guess it all was smoke, even though this has been going on for 4 months or whatever.
Right. Yeah, it's so ridiculous. But again, I think most people, except for the real doomers, the ones who just always have that gut feeling that the Vikings might find a way to screw it up. I think most fans knew that this was going to be the scenario. He was going to reset the wide receiver market. I honestly thought he would have gotten more. I think him taking $35 million average annual value is actually a pretty solid deal compared to what we've seen. Like I was expecting it to be quite a bit more than that. But
based on what people were because he turned down the $33 million to start the year, which
he
banked on himself, and that was worth it.
They said today it was $28 million a year is what he turned down before day one of last year.
That is $28
million per year he turned down, which obviously we all knew that was going to happen, right? So I don't know. Again, it's just funny to me how all this stuff comes out after the deal is done, but I'm happy that we can finally put it behind us and just move forward. Gary, it's just it's a floor lamp that I have that's purple with yellow lights on it.
Hey, what up? What up, Adam, our guy? What up? And we're going to get into this in a little bit here, like specifically, but might as well answer your question. So, because this is something that is being brought up, which is something that we should definitely talk about. Is it true that the structure is so that the bulk of the cap hit is this year and minimal, like 12 million on each of the following years? Actually, it's it's actually the complete opposite of that. That's kind of what, like that's what I would have thought maybe we would have done.
But it's important though. This fact is important. It's the 88.7 million is the guaranteed at signing. So basically, and we'll see that when we look at the cap on the structure from the cap hit and everything. So I'm not 100% sure how it works, but I know obviously there's a certain amount from a new contract you can turn into a signing bonus. And I believe then I think you can take that off the first year, then you prorate some of that money out for the duration of the contract. I believe is how it works. But so the full 88.7 million, it's not factored into the cap hit for this year. That's a signing bonus. So actually none of that gets factored into the cap hit except for when it gets prorated out through future years. So and usually that's how they say when you give an extension, you can knock down their salary this year, which again, once we get into the details, you'll see that that's exactly what happened with his cap hit for this upcoming season.
Yeah, we'll get into it. But man, overall though, I mean, man, it's just, I mean, crazy, man. This has been a hell of an offseason for him. I mean, yes, there's so much that rides on our young quarterback, who, again, everybody in here, we are giving away just the JJ McCarthy rookie card first, Bowman's first, Michigan card. Still waiting on the Vikings jersey. Hopefully that something's going to be coming out with something with that soon. But a lot is riding on this kid, and he's one of the big things why we're really happy with what Kwesi's done with this offseason. What's up?
Speaking of jersey, there's the rumor that Friday we get the winter whiteout alternate uniforms. Maybe a little white helmet.
If there's no helmet, I don't even give a fuck, dude.
Exactly, the helmet.
I don't even give a fuck. I mean, those
white jersey at that point.
Yeah, those jerseys are sick. Those jerseys from last year are sick. I don't even know. I mean, how much more whiteout are you gonna? How much more whiteout is it gonna get? Give us the fucking helmet, dude. The helmet would make that so sick. I know. I think it was Purple for the Win posted because JJ had like a gold and silver. That would be wild. That would be wild. Gold and silver helmet in the back or whatever. But do something with the helmet. Come on. We need a different helmet. It needs to be sick.
White helmet, purple horns.
Dude,
that's what I want.
So sick. It'd be so. I don't even care if it's. I don't even. It is. Is it for sure white, or is it?
I mean, they said alternate jerseys. People are assuming it's going to be a whiteout alternate jersey.
A lot of people speculated Jefferson wouldn't resign the left. He's a monster deal. Just answer that. He wanted to say, yeah. It shows you how much smoke is in the air throughout this whole process. You know, everybody knew that. I mean, we kind of like dug through it earlier on in the offseason when Kwesi had his first press conference of the offseason, when it was like, when he talked about Danielle Hunter and when he talked about Kirk Cousins, it was like, we want him to be here, but it has to work both ways, But when it came to Justin Jefferson, it was like, oh no, we need him here. Like, it was just a whole different tone with him. And it's exactly how it rolled out with Danielle Hunter going, Kirk Cousins going, and then Justin Jefferson being here. There's like really no reason to think that there was just some sort of, I don't know, background noise going on with all this Justin Jefferson. I mean, obviously it was prolonged a little bit. Finding out that he didn't sign the contract before the year, was a little bit like, okay, but I think we all knew. And when it came to Kwesi and KOC, there's no reason to have thought that it wasn't going to happen outside of other medias and everybody talk. I mean, the Patriots wanted 3 first-round picks and Justin Jefferson.
Yeah,
to trade. It's just crazy.
I mean, and the big thing is too, it's like, if you want to, like, how well these negotiations went is, like, again, as they say, and as Purple for the Win says, and he's 100% right. If you don't hear about anything through the media, it means the negotiations are going well, right? And we heard all the background noise about this guy wants. Does he want to get traded? Does he want to be here? Will he sign a contract? What's going to happen here? Why is it taking so long? And the fact that nothing ever came out like that really sounded like it was from his side, trying to say the Vikings were trying to lowball him, and nothing ever came out from the Vikings saying he's being difficult, just shows me that it's all that was all literally just May news, slow season, trying to make headlines. Or at the end of the day, these two sides were dedicated to getting the deal done 100%. JJ wanted to be here. He knew he'd get paid well if he stayed. He saw what we're doing here. He knows that we're building towards something. Now I think that was a big thing for him. He wanted to make sure that we were moving in the right direction, which we are. So this was about as well played as Kwesi could have done this. And it just adds on to, honestly, an absolutely masterclass of an offseason. Sure, you lose guys like Danielle Hunter, but that's going to happen, right, in the NFL. But
guys like Kirk Cousins.
but you're getting rid of a couple aging veterans who are going to cost a lot of money, bringing in some younger, obviously not as high of ceiling guys. Well, at least from a Danielle Hunter perspective, right? You bring in a Van Ginkel and a Grenard, who know neither of them on their own are Danielle Hunter. We know that. But the fact that you sign them for pretty cheap, and then you bring in a guy who could be a Danielle Hunter in Dallas Turner, along with your quarterback of the future, you still have your first round picks next year. Absolutely masterclass of an offseason by Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah. Don't care what anybody says.
No. A lot of it's going to ride on that player that I mentioned, JJ. Everything's going to kind of ride on that. But, he set him up as – no rookie quarterback is going to come into as great of a situation, not even just from the people around him, but even having Sam Darnold, someone that, can at least be the starting quarterback up until JJ McCarthy's ready. Even that is a benefit. Like, Kwesi has really set this kid up for success, and it's just crazy. And everything you said, like, this guy cooked. This guy absolutely cooked. And, depending on how you felt about even the Kirk Cousins people who wanted him to stay, they just, everything that's happened since he's gone. Everybody has to be happy with how all that turned out. And I think a lot of people are warming up to JJ McCarthy, who hasn't. Obviously, it's hard not to. That's, we're kind of banking on him. But
Right.
you already talked. We lost Danielle Hunter. We bring in both Grenard and Van Ginkel. We eventually bring in Dallas Turner. And we bring in Aaron Jones from the Packers. JJ McCarthy. We just did so many moves. Ultimately, not paying Danielle Hunter, which I think we don't get that comp pick for him. I almost would have got that. I don't know how that situation's rolling out.
Yeah.
But still, losing him but still getting like 2 studs. And I consider Van Ginkel also a stud. Hopefully he comes back from injury and everything like that. But I like him a lot. But getting them 2 here, and then losing Kirk Cousins, still getting Sam Darnold, and then still getting JJ McCarthy, and then ultimately we'll see kind of what's going on. I know one kind of report today with the whole Kirk Cousins situation is that they're going to be coming down hard on them. Mm-hmm. Hopefully that means we get something from it, but I know most people think that's probably not the case. It's happened before, I believe. So maybe that will happen. That would be nice. I think we're supposed to find out what happens with that in the next couple of weeks.
I think this
that'd be interesting
by the end of this week, I think, or at least the investigation.
Maybe that's what it was. Maybe the end of this week. But yeah, if we get anything from that, like that's just a freaking cherry on top of everything else. And you paid the person that needed to be paid in Justin Jefferson and getting the best non-quarterback in the entire NFL on your team.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
Well, speaking of pay, let's dig into the numbers, the figures.
Well, I don't even know if we actually even mentioned the actual contract in general, right?
Right. But anyway,
to do?
Per NFL.com, 4-year, $140 million extension. Now, that is an extension that is added on to the 5th-year option. The 5th-year option stays this year, and it's 4 more years after that. So a lot of people have pointed out with a 5th-year option for JJ McCarthy, their contracts do align. They'll be here for the same amount of time. Interesting stuff there. 110 million guaranteed, and I believe it was like the 89 million guaranteed at signing. Massive contract, breaks down to 35 million per year, which does make him over $1 million over Nick Bosa, the highest paid non-quarterback in the history of the NFL. Very well deserved, something that the fan base was expecting. I think a lot of people were expecting this to be, again, I thought it might have been a little bit more money, average annual value, which the average annual value is more just for looks and to say how much you're making per year, but it doesn't necessarily tell the full story of the contract, which we can get into here as well. Give me one quick second.
One thing about that is I agree. I think, at this point, people were really hyping it up that it could be more than 30. That's what they were saying. Like, this is going to be more than 35 million. It could be up to like 40 million or whatever. Yeah. So I think 35, I wouldn't say it's super surprising, but, could have been worse. But the whole idea we were talking about earlier, the fact that he did turn down 28, that 28 million would already be looking like an absolute steal within 1 year.
Yeah.
So ultimately, but that's the thing, in 3 years, that his 35 million isn't even going to be that big of a deal anymore. And we always see that kind of stuff. So
yeah, for sure. Here's how cap hit wise it does break down. Spot Rack. So initially his 5th-year option was $19 million cap hit. That does go down to $8.5 million. And the next year it's pretty low as well, 15 million, as you still kind of have some of that cap you're working through in 2025. Then it does get pretty big. So it is weird. It's not a front loaded contract. They definitely backloaded it. 39 million in 2026, 43 million in 2027. You do have a potential out where there is only 7 million dead against the cap and you save about 40 million. But then if it gets to 2028, he's at that $47 million cap hit, which is pretty hefty. Then $6 million void year at the end there. But it is interesting because over the cap lays it a little differently here. They do show you how much you would take on in cap hits if you get cut, but they also do have projected cap space for what the next few years are going to look like. So 2025, I guess let's just run through year by year here. So as of right now, we still have around 30 million in cap space this year, which is huge in case there's a trade or a signing you got to make midseason. Maybe another team is looking to get rid of a star and you can take on their contract and fit it into your future plans. Who really knows? Darisaw extension coming up. Again, I don't see that this year. I think he waits till next year to really kind of maximize his value, which I think pretty much if he gets healthy for a full season, his value is going to be absolutely insane. But again, I'm sure that's all part of the future plan. Love to see it. 2025, $15 million cap hit, as we said there, still projected at $54 million. Here's the thing that's really interesting to me. 2026, $39 million cap hit, right? And that includes a Brian O'Neill $23 million cap hit, which could get restructured down. Still projected to have $122 million with cap space, which is absolutely insane. And again, no JJ McCarthy deal, no Dallas Turner deal factored into this, no future first round pick from next year factored in, obviously. But either way, you don't expect that to change all that much when you get to it. And then even going 2027, $217 million in cap space. Obviously, at this point, no Brian O'Neill on the books, which might end up being a reality. There will be free agent signings, but just looking at that, knowing how much you're going to be paying Justin Jefferson, and knowing that in a few years you could still have $217 million in cap space with him having a $40+ million cap hit.
Crazy cook.
Again, and as we talk about, this is the benefit of a quarterback on a rookie contract, which is why, and this is where, like, this is honestly, like, I know you were talking about this a lot of times when Kirk was still here. Like, you just wanted to, like, the understanding that when you bring in a rookie quarterback, that legitimately opens your Super Bowl window because you're not paying him much. You pay the pieces around him. And because let's say in 5 years, if he's really, really good, we don't have a Super Bowl yet. Yes, you're gonna try to retain him and Justin Jefferson, but at that point, you're paying two premium players, two most expensive players in football as of right now. You're gonna be paying them both. That's gonna be tough to do. So it really would be beneficial just to try to find a way to get that Super Bowl within these 5 years. But
that'd be most optimal thing,
right? For sure.
But hey, our guy Young Smokey's in the building. Hey, what up, Young Smokey? It's been a minute, my man. It's been a minute. Thank God we finally got this done. Let's go. I know, dude. I'm so pumped. I wasn't worried. I wasn't worried yet. I mean, we were talking about if we got into training camp, it'd be time to get worried, but we felt like it was going to get done, and it's exactly what happened. So we can all sleep a little bit better these upcoming nights. Can't always let generation do. No, that's the whole point. And what Casey was explaining about, especially you have a quarterback on a rookie contract, pay some stars. They pay the Kansas City Chiefs. They paid Tyreek Hill when Mahomes was on his contract, and then like that's what happened in that situation when they had to pay Patrick Mahomes. They weren't able to afford Tyreek Hill, but that happened, when Mahomes needed to get paid.
Even Joe Burrow, like, sure, they're going to be able to keep Jamar Chase, but there's issues with Trey Hendrickson because he wants more money and they can't give it to him. They're going to lose T. Higgins. So it's like it's really hurting them that they didn't win that Super Bowl in that window that they had with Joe Burrow one year they won.
We need to sign Darrisaw next year on the basis he stays healthy because he missed some games, but you don't. Yeah, exactly. Oh, we definitely can't. And I mean, if he gets another bad injury this year or something, I think you would just, unless it's a really bad one, you probably still extend him.
It would be a negotiating play. That's for sure.
Yeah. On the Vikings part, right? The only time to see Allen walks is when it's aging. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that guy should be around for the foreseeable future. Glad you fellas are doing well. It's been a minute, but I'm here. Oh yeah. Absolutely, oh, man. Bro. Hey, we appreciate you no matter what. This is a slow part of the year. We're still out here. We're still out here doing our thing, but
slow part of the year, but the best news we all could have asked for. Literally the last piece of something for the offseason before we can really start to dig into the future of this football team, right?
Like that's, I don't even, and then even getting Dalton Reisner, just depth at that position. It's like
depth and competition.
Yeah. It's like, there's nothing else I can really think that we could possibly do. Like getting somehow, if we got some sort of defensive interior talent, but I don't think that's even possible at this point.
No.
But yeah, anyways, so back to, but like you said, like everything comes down. We talked about Patrick Mahomes and the Tyreek Hill thing. We talked about Joe Burrow and that situation. And that's kind of what it is you open up this window having a quarterback on his rookie contract. And even compared to all of those guys, like none of them, look, while y'all just talk about him before I can type, y'all let's go. But that's a difference between even those teams, even the Kansas City Chiefs. Yeah, they were in the playoffs a year before Patrick Mahomes or whatever became their starter. But I do think, like, out of any of those guys, like JJ McCarthy is set up better than any of them. We already talked about just Justin Jefferson and Darrisaw, but then you add when TJ Hawkinson comes back, Jordan Addison, something feels like Jordan Addison is about to like break open the NFL this year.
And as a rookie, I mean, what, 900 some yards and
10 touchdowns. Something is brewing with Jordan Addison. Like like he's about to be the legit 1B wide receiver this year. And then you have Brian O'Neill. You have a lot of good tackles. Obviously, we could do a little bit better on the offensive interior. We still have Aaron Jones. I do expect the Vikings to go grab maybe a running back next year, maybe even use that extra first round pick that we get from the Atlanta Falcons if that ends up working in our favor. But yeah, dude, he set up so perfectly. So there's going to be a lot riding on this kid's shoulders. The reality is, luckily, it doesn't have to be immediately. He doesn't have to be that guy immediately this year. But as far as the next 5 years, we are kind of married to him as that guy to push us over that edge, because he has everything we could ever want around him. So, I mean, if he can't succeed in this, then it is what it is, right?
Absolutely.
So,
yeah.
Jordan Addis is gonna pop off, dude. Hey, what up, the Black Al Bundy? JJ are gonna feed families. Let's go.
But again, this is what, for the people that said trade JJ or they didn't think we were going to re-sign him, like, this was the plan all along, right? Get a rookie quarterback so you can pay Justin Jefferson. Like, we all knew that the one reason we all thought this team could move on from Kirk and draft a rookie quarterback is he's coming into a situation where he, like you just said, he has all the pieces around him. And to say Justin Jefferson wasn't a part of that plan is, to me, it's just ridiculous that that was the mindset of some people, right? That trade him because it doesn't feel right paying him that much money. But like, this was the plan all along. Rookie quarterback, plop into this situation where he's playing with the best wide receiver in football, and it's only going to help him. And it's the perfect scenario any of us could have asked for coming into this offseason, right? And the big thing to me, keep your first round pick next year. Got 2 top talent players with McCarthy and Dallas Turner. This team is set for the next 5 years, right? I mean, sure, again, there's few pieces here and there, offensive, interior, defensive, mainly interior, right? Because cornerback, sneakily, I think cornerbacks could be much improved this year. I mean, Byron Murphy, I think he's gonna have a much better season. I like Shaq. Sure. I like Shaq Griffin a lot as a veteran. You have Blackman, who stepped up at times last year. I think we both are really excited about what Kyrie Jackson can bring to the table. And it's going to be competitive. Like, there's going to be, guys fighting for spots. I mean, and we're even sitting here looking like Andrew Booth and Caleb Evans. They're both potential roster bubble cut guys, right? Like, so there's some, I believe in the talent there. I think Flores is going to get the best out of them. And I mean, Dwight McGlothern's there too. So I think cornerback's going to be sneaky impressive this year. Plus, we're going to have a lot more guys getting after the quarterback, which is only going to help them. So I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm hoping so. I like the optimism. I think I don't think it could be any worse than last year for sure, right? And well, first off, it wasn't even that terrible at all because Brian Flores came in and was able to do a lot with what we had. So I mean, with what we have this year, I think he should be able to even do even more with that. So I don't think they're going to be bad. I do think a lot like Byron Murphy. He does have a lot to prove, I guess. I think he could have a bounce back. I know the year before that he had his injury. He wasn't too great during that year, but hopefully he bounces back. I do like the Shaq Griffin as a veteran, like you mentioned before. Caleb Evans, that should be interesting. I feel like he's going to be kind of the guy that, I don't know, kind of falls down the depth chart. I was hoping we'd see Blackman above him. I don't think he is to start this offseason so far, but we'll see what happens with that. But ultimately, you have Brian Flores. Like, I just feel like it can't be that bad as long as you have Brian Flores, and it doesn't even really matter what kind of talent you had. So the fact that I do think we're in a better situation from in our secondary standpoint, you just think I think not even just our defensive backs, man. Our defense is it's going to be a lot better than last year, probably. I think. And it's going to be a lot better than anybody's really expecting. And, again, it kind of comes down to how the defensive interior looks. But speaking of that, I think there's a rumor coming out, or someone mentioned that Jaquelin Roy is actually looking good. So, I mean, if there's this scenario where Jaquelin Roy, Casey's boy from last season, if there's a scenario where he can step up and improve, if anybody on this defense takes a step forward, we would want it to be that guy. Because if that is the case, that would be the massive difference maker from our defense being really fucking good.
For sure. I mean, and the biggest thing to me, and you said Brian Flores, that everybody that was brought here, especially this year, but some of the guys last year as well, are Brian Flores handpicked guys that he saw potential and wants to add them to his defense. That's the thing that gets me the most excited. Like I'm excited. I think Blake Cashman at linebacker could have a good season. I'm excited about the rookie corners. I really like Kyrie Jackson, Dwight McGlothern. I'm really excited about both of those guys.
Yeah.
I mean,
even Gabriel Murphy, like seeing what we have in him. I mean, dude, like our pass rushers. I mean, you take in even Andre Carter from last year. Like any progression that we see from him, Van Ginkel, Grenard, Dallas Turner, Gabriel Murphy. Like there's a lot of we have a lot of in Van Ginkel and Grenard. You got some really good veterans. I mean, Grenard's still only 27 years old. You got those, but you're filled with young potential talent there as well. And it's like, if we can get any of those guys to end up working out for us, I mean, we could have a freak pass rush. And I know a lot of people are liking back to defensive interior. What's his face? What's the 7th rounder that the
Levi Drake,
Jason Momoa. Yeah, Jason Momoa guy. People are liking what they're seeing from him too.
He's my guy. He's my guy this year. He's the guy I'm really excited to watch this year. I think he's going to be one of those sneaky guys that makes the 53. I'm calling it right now. I think he's one of those sneaky guys.
You think so?
I do.
I know we're gonna have to do some roster predictions. When do we usually do that? We probably don't do that until like preseason, huh?
Yeah, we should at least wait. We should at least wait till after mini camp at least.
Yeah.
To see kind of how
I know, I'm ready already. Aaron Jones, dude. And Aaron Jones is showing out too. I mean, if there's anyone that's kind of looked impressive from highlights, for whatever we get from, voluntary mini camp, you're seeing some good things coming out from Aaron Jones, like everything Aaron Jones. So I'm really excited for him. That's why that offense is just set up. So I'm excited about how that works. Getting Dalton Reisner, that only made everything better for that offense. And it'll be interesting still to see what we see in what happens with JJ McCarthy. I know at this point, a lot of people I know in the last week or so, there's a lot of reports about JJ McCarthy starting as quarterback 3, which I'm like, I don't even like, it's not a huge surprise that if they decided to go Sam Darnold to start the season, that JJ McCarthy would be the 3rd quarterback, specifically just so that they want to make sure that he's as ready as possible.
Oh, right. Yeah. Because if he's one snap away, that's like, you could very much risk him getting put into a terrible situation, right? Yeah. So I think that would definitely be smart. I mean, I do think it ends up being Sam Darnold, Nick Mullins, and JJ McCarthy until they feel like,
what up, Sarah?
Until they feel that JJ McCarthy is like, oh yeah, if he needed to come in and play mid game, he is 100. He is ready. He's ready to rock and roll, right? So until you feel that way about him, I think he should be that emergency 3rd quarterback.
Yeah, and there's a chance
sidelines, be like watch the game from right there.
And that doesn't even mean that he's not. That's the thing with him is like, you got to be positive that he's showing confidence. Like you have to be positive. He's showing like that level of confidence, because unlike Sam Darnold, like you just think of the process of Sam Darnold with the Jets and him having the way he started and then saying he's seen ghosts and stuff, like that's pretty obvious. He was put into a situation that was way over his head, and you do not want that with JJ McCarthy. And if this is the scenario where JJ McCarthy is quarterback 3, I don't think that automatically means like, oh shit, he's not ready, he's going to be bad or anything like that. I think you're just being very careful, because no matter what, I don't think like JJ McCarthy could just miss this entire year and it would not hurt his development. I don't think it would. Obviously, that's what happened to Patrick Mahomes, with Aaron Rodgers, with a lot of some of the best quarterbacks who ever played the game did not play their rookie season. Tom Brady, right? That was his second year. Was that his rookie year when he got put in there? But obviously, it wasn't to start.
I think it was rookie year. Yeah.
His rookie year, but it wasn't to start the season or whatever. No. And then same with Brock Purdy, and a lot of these guys, a lot of them aren't sitting with that pressure throughout the offseason, like, oh, you're going to be that guy, so you better like step up, like Sam Darnold, like Zach Wilson, like a lot of these guys. I mean, this year, Caleb Williams, Jane Daniels, Drake May, maybe not. Doesn't seem like they're going to be forcing that, but
yeah. I mean,
what up, Skol TY?
It definitely feels like if you're picking top 3, like that quarterback needs to start week 1, right? So. But yeah, so I think just not having to trade heaven and earth to go get JJ McCarthy, just getting in the way we got him, just sets him up to not have to be forced into a starting role. And I think that's going to be, again, as we've talked about before, as long as Kevin O'Connell sticks to his guns and doesn't play until he's ready, we're going to be just fine.
Yeah. Yeah. Just make sure he's got, like, ultimately, make sure he's confident. That's it. That's it for me. Like, make sure I think he is. I mean, he seems like a confident kid, but you want him to be like, not second guessing himself. I don't know. Sam Darnold had to have been doing that when he was a rookie.
Oh,
A lot of
absolutely.
these
Well,
quarterbacks
he told us
had.
that he's seeing ghosts.
Yeah, I know he's seeing ghosts. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it doesn't get worse than that. So that's why you just don't let that happen. Like, it's. I want him to play this year. I'm hoping that at some point we get to see him just because we want to. But if he doesn't, it doesn't mean he's a bad quarterback. If he's quarterback 3, it doesn't mean that what's his face, Mullins, assuming that he'd be quarterback 2, is the better option to win games. It doesn't mean that. They're just don't want to risk stunting this kid's growth if they don't need to.
Yep, they're protecting him from himself, which would be huge. Or from just just having to play there. And hopefully, if we do need to see JJ McCarthy, it's week 18. 1 seed's already on lock. Sam Darnold's resting the arm, and we're getting ready. We're getting ready to go on a nice playoff run here. And JJ McCarthy gets his first couple snaps, and everything's all good to go. And next thing you know, 6 months later, he's traded because we won a Super Bowl with Sam Darnold, and Sam Darnold's here long term.
Yeah,
probably not going to happen, but you never know.
Yeah, I mean, at the same time, I mean, there's a chance that JJ McCarthy is just
ready to rock.
I mean, that he's ready to rock. I mean, I think he does have the confidence. It's just for sure. Like, I think he has that in his own head or whatever. That's a whole different ballgame when you see him on the field or whatever. So I think it's really going to come down to like preseason play to actually see him out in regular games before you're even making those kind of decisions. I wouldn't even be surprised if they're just like, we're just going to start with Sam Darnold anyways. But like what T.Y. said, I don't think JJ sits a full year. I think if JJ hits the marker that Chaos says he plays, unless the Vikings are not exactly, and that's what it is. That marker,
if things are working, and it's like, well, we just got to roll with what we got, go with the hot hand. But that's the best scenario you could be in, where you feel like he's ready, but yet you're still winning, so you don't have to force him in there to play. I think that's the dream scenario when you draft a rookie quarterback, right? One that you don't think you're going to start week 1 or year.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's what we're saying about Kwesi. That's why it's like that's why it's in such an impressive offseason. Because first off, I mean, for me coming in this offseason, on my list, it was like, let's move on from Kirk Cousins, sign Justin Jefferson, and then draft a rookie quarterback, and go get your guy, whatever. And they did all of that. They didn't have to give up the extra first-round picks, which we didn't mention. We were talking about Kwesi earlier. It was without giving those extra first-round picks, getting Dallas Turner, just all these things. But that's one underrated thing of all of this is getting a guy like Sam Darnold, who at the very least, I mean, he's shown some good games with the Panthers. I think he, who knows what can he revive his career, or I guess you could not even revive, but I guess even have start being good. Whatever. Everybody talks about a situation. Maybe there's a chance that there's something in there that KOC can find. But even if that's not the case, I do think he can really be a good backup quarterback in this league, at the very least, or a low end starter potentially in this league. So having a guy like that and making sure you have someone like that in place where you don't feel like if you draft a quarterback that he has to start week 1. I mean, that's a smart move, especially when you get a kid like JJ McCarthy, 21 years old, coming from a run first system, and not having him hold this pressure. Like, who knows what that pressure feels like as soon as you get drafted, as soon as your first rookie mini camp, and you already know, like, you're going to have to be ready week 1. Like, if you imagine going to rookie mini camp, you realize, oh shit, this is all a lot faster than I expected. And like, I'm going to be starting week 1. But like, if JJ McCarthy, you can be like, oh, we made some mistakes or whatever, but it's not the end of the world. Like, if I'm not ready at week 1 or whatever, you don't have all that extra pressure, which I feel like could also hinder development in itself. Right.
Yeah. I mean, like, again, best case scenario is they're both playing well, and Sam Darnold leads us on a playoff run, and JJ McCarthy gets to sit and learn for a year. Second best scenario is they both do really, really well in training camp, and the Vikings are prepared to start either one of them. Maybe Sam Darnold, like you said, just to make sure they don't rush JJ McCarthy out there. Another team has a quarterback injury, needs a quarterback. You offer him Sam Darnold, you get like a 3rd, 4th round pick for him, and you roll JJ McCarthy anyway. Like, to me, that's scenario number 2. That would be a great turnout, right? And it was probably part of their thinking, right? It's a relatively friendly contract. And if both quarterbacks come out, I mean, if you didn't get JJ McCarthy, you have a young guy you can still potentially develop because Darnold is still young, but also you have the possibility of if he plays well, preseason practices well, whatever, someone gets hurt, you can trade him. And we still have a rookie quarterback who, if at that point we would make that move, if we feel confident our rookie quarterback can step in and start. So every option's out there. And that's the one thing I love about how Kwesi's, like, even how he's ran since he's got here. Like, other than the first year, you feel like every option is potentially on the table for the next year, right? Like last year when he signed Kirk Cousins when he didn't extend him to more than just one more year, it's like, well, every option is out there after that season. Now it's like every option's out here right now. Every option's out here for next season. Like, it's all out in front of you, and Kwesi's leaving so many open paths he could take over the next couple of seasons.
Including
it's perfect.
Including just fixing the cap situation. Like, that's crazy all by itself, right?
And people say, like, it is easy. I mean, easy to reset a cap, right? You just cut some veteran players, move on from this guy, sign this guy for cheap. But resetting your cap while still bringing in impact players and keeping impact players like Justin Jefferson, that's the impressive part to me. And setting yourself up to where in 2025 you're going to have, or 2025, 2026, a mountain of cap space to play with, while still paying your best receiver $30-some million a year.
And you still have to make the tough decisions to let go a guy like Kirk Cousins go. Like, and like you said,
like a guy where if you have Kirk, you're going to be in the playoff picture all the time. Are you going to make the playoffs every time? No, but you're going to be at least on the doorstep and make the playoffs. And now you're going to a point where you're going with Sam Darnold, whose career has been kind of a flop to this point, and a rookie quarterback who knows. And going into the draft, you don't know what quarterback you're going to end up with. So it's taking a huge risk, right? Yeah. But it's a calculated risk, and a risk that he felt comfortable doing. And I mean, you got to admire that. And then the way he was still able to navigate everything, to me, is just absolutely impressive.
Yeah, dude. It's crazy. Because even the what's his name? I can't think of his first. Smith.
Harrison
defensive
Smith?
Defensive end. Oh yeah, I forget Harrison Smith. Defensive end from the Packers that we grabbed.
Oh, Zadarius.
Zadarius. Like, even stuff like that, like going out and signing these players that are like star caliber on 1-year deals, not destroying what's going on in the future, but still like making your team better for right now. Like, Van Ginkel would be an example of that for this year for the Vikings, I would say. We did sign Grenard to a little bit longer, but yeah, like last year, you could say, I mean, the same thing. It didn't work out in our favor, and everybody's shits on Kwesi for it. But it's like, all right, with the Davenport thing, for instance, and you can even maybe mention Byron Murphy, but Davenport specifically, paying him 1 year, $12 million. For me, I was like, hey, you're taking a chance on a guy that could make a difference for this team. And he did make some impactful plays when he was healthy. 2 weeks, you're taking a chance, but now, like, it's not that big of a deal.
Right.
What else? What would he spent that $12 million on besides Davenport? Like, I don't know, probably nothing much crazier than that. And then now he's not even here. So it's not that big of a deal, but at least you're taking those kinds of opportunities to do that, which is something I'm kind of thinking, like, which was kind of interesting for me with this whole situation with JJ's contract and kind of not front loading it, back at putting, or would you call it, back ending or whatever?
Backloading.
But backloading, because you're thinking, like, all right, if we're going to hit this window of trying to win a Super Bowl on JJ McCarthy's rookie contract, you would have thought that, it's probably going to start next year, not this year. So it's like the lowest, though we have this year. You're also thinking you have, what is it, 23 mil of that we owe Kirk Cousins, or that's still on the book for Kirk Cousins? 28 and a half. So you have 28 and a half on him. So that kind of makes sense, where you kind of have money, because that's what happened this year. We were supposed to pay Justin Jefferson $19 million, and now we're paying him $8 million. So we literally opened up $10 million in cap space. Yep. But you just feel like there's something more with that than even the Kirk Cousins thing, for them wanting to make sure that we had money available. Kwesi's up to something with that for sure. So it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, well, like, in my mind, you just never know, right? Like, you get to midseason, you could be having a much better season you expected, right? And you just think, man, if we just had this defensive interior guy, we would be set. And then let's say there's a team that's struggling and they're looking to get rid of some players, and you can get yourself a really good defensive interior guy. It's going to cost you a lot of money. You take on his contract, but if you feel confident enough, you're like, well, hey, we have cap space now. We can afford him for the next 3 years, which is what
gives you it gives you flexibility at the very least, right?
Right. And worst case scenario, and I believe you can roll some. I don't know how exactly it works, but there is a cap rollover thing you can do. So At the end of the day, it's just, I don't know, man. I am, again, did it start off shaky with Kwesi? Yes. Is everybody a believer? No. But how
You
can
got to
you
be
not
getting
at least,
close now.
how can you not at least feel a little more confident that this is how everything is played out?
Yeah, no, dude, the reality is he did his thing. He did his thing. This is exactly, I think, at least I think this is his plan, especially from a financial
On paper,
standpoint. Sure. But I mean, what GM is out here fixes your financial situation, but also sets up your team for success as much as possible. Like what we have on offense with JJ and Jordan Addison and TJ Hawkinson, all those kinds of things, and goes and like sets everything for that quarterback of the future on a rookie contract. Like he does everything every fan should want to see their team do. Ultimately, everything's going to ride, and we've mentioned it before, everything's going to kind of ride on how JJ McCarthy turns out. But like there's a lot of busts out there. But the fact that he set everything up perfectly to go make that happen, and then he went and did it. Like you should not be mad for that unless you're like the biggest Kirk Cousins lover, I guess, and felt that'd be like the only thing I could see where you're like, well, you could have just kept Kirk Cousins, but then you wouldn't have had, if you would have signed him to the contract that Atlanta did, you're probably not keeping Justin Jefferson at that point, like, or at least it would be a lot more difficult to, no way you're going to keep him and Darrisaw, right? Holding on 45 million a year towards Kirk Cousins with Justin Jefferson's contract around the corner. So,
right. I mean, so like that's the thing on paper, perfect, right? Like, and again, we all know how things in the NFL go, right? Like if JJ McCarthy doesn't work out, it almost does kind of feel like all of this is going to be for naught, right? But that's the risk you take. Like, so, and that's as of right now, without seeing the results of it 2 years down the road, because we can't do that, you do got to take it at face value. So an on paper value, seeing what he's done, I don't know how you can look at all these moves and where this team is at right now with a legitimate Super Bowl window with an unknown rookie quarterback. Like, I don't know how you can't just look at the baseline moves and not say he did his job well, right? Again, so like 5 years down the road, if JJ McCarthy doesn't work out, this team implodes, then you're looking at it like, okay, the moves didn't work out. But as of right now, just looking at it from a baseline value,
I mean, even down in the road, like I know there's no matter what, I mean, no matter what, people are going to shit on Kwesi if JJ McCarthy doesn't work out.
Oh, right, yeah,
but like, sure. I can just imagine if that's how it rolled out, it'd be, yes, Kwesi probably isn't going to have a job anymore with us, but he went for what we all asked for, right? He did exactly what we all asked for. And he took a swing, and honestly, he took a swing while having that team set up perfectly for it, right? Unlike like what we're seeing with the Patriots, for instance, right? They're taking a swing on Drake May without having everything around him set up. And the way Kwesi ends up having it is, he set everything up perfectly, and then he swung for his quarterback, and hopefully it works out. But if it doesn't, everyone's going to shit on him. But I think we'll remember that, like, hey, he went for it. That's all we really wanted out of him. At least that's what us personally wanted out of him.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Like he had a plan, he stuck to it. It went the way he wanted it to. At the end of the day, it just didn't work out, right? And when that does happen in the NFL, someone has to pay, and usually the guy that pays is the GM and coach, whatever, in that scenario. But at the end of the day, I'm pumped. Justin Jefferson's here, man. It really is the Justin Jefferson extension is the bow on the offseason to me, right? Like this was just the one thing that just the final touch on a perfect offseason by Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah. In my mind.
Unless somehow we had like and I agree with you, Gary. At this point, you got JJ McCarthy, you just signed Justin Jefferson. Like they're gonna be around here for at least another 3 years, no matter what, anyways, right? They have to, because that's how. I mean, in 3 years of JJ McCarthy, we'll find out if he's a bust in 3 years, I guess. But what was I gonna say? I forget. But I don't know. He definitely cooked. Oh, I was gonna say that you said the cherry on top. I guess if there was like just some magical way somehow we got a defensive interior, that would be like the last thing. Because even though the Dalton Reisner thing, like that at this point, I thought that was completely out the window. Like I wasn't even thinking about that anymore. So the fact that you just brought him back, it does make you immediately just feel better about your interior offensive line situation. It's not going to be like, a massive world difference, but it still makes you feel better. But it'd be nice if somehow we pulled something like that off. I can't see it happening. I just don't. There's no one out there. It'd have to be like some sort of trade or something. But hey, 30. We have like 30 million in cap space. So hey, well, who knows what happens? Right now, we have enough money to afford
Christian Wilkins.
Yeah, Christian Wilkins now. So if we would have got this contract figured out earlier, but that was expensive.
Yeah, but either way, I'm happy with
it. I was gonna say it's the power of love. No, I was not gonna say that, Steve. Never said
anything else? Anything else at all?
Our poll has 92% A, 8% said B. One person in here, maybe in here, maybe not, said a B. Two Evil's not in here. He would have been the F on there probably.
Now,
yeah, I mean,
all I ask, actually, there is one more thing. Show me the whiteout alternate jerseys with a white helmet and purple horns. And I know
if there's not a different helmet, I'm gonna Or if it's a different version of a purple helmet, I'm even gonna be more pissed.
Yeah, but like, so there was the idea of a black jersey with a black helmet, and people didn't like that. I thought it looked awesome. Like black jersey, purple horns, purple lettering with like a white outline or something like that, or a yellow outline. And give me some of that.
Well, the black with purple horns,
like black helmet, purple horns.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that'd be dope. I do think the white. I love the color black, but I do think white is cleaner. I think that's a cleaner look. I think I would prefer the white jerseys with the white helmet. But the black was still super sick. Like even if they came out with that, I don't even care. It's all about the helmet ultimately. Just bring me a white helmet, black on black, white on white. I don't even care. Just do something with the helmet.
Yeah, absolutely.
Joey, I should have known after our mock draft. We all knew he was going to be signed to be a huge extension. I give Kwesi and JJ kudos for the timing. It is of it is so he's there for everything to get chemistry. Yep. 100%. So yeah, I know right before mandatory minicamp, that's huge. And now now Justin Jefferson doesn't have to make that decision to miss it or whatever and get roasted by the fans. Because if he missed this one, I bet you there's some articles already pre-written for the mandatory minicamp and JJ missing. So they just wasted their time.
For sure.
It'd be good. Can't wait to get to McCarthy, Jefferson, and Turner jersey for my first Vikings apparel. Let's go.
I wish, man. I want to get a jersey so bad, but every time I buy a jersey for myself,
okay.
So I can't allow myself to buy jerseys anymore.
Because he can't go to games anymore. He can't get
let's go through the list of all Vikings apparel I've ever bought for myself, right?
Yeah.
So I bought a Christian Ponder jersey, which
Did you never have an Adrian Peterson?
I did not. No. The first jersey I had was it was actually a black Jared Allen jersey, but that was purchased for me, which is totally different. So I had that purchased
so
for
you
me,
can buy you
I had
something.
a Stephon Diggs jersey purchased for me, and those both worked out perfectly. But I bought myself a Christian Ponder jersey. I bought myself a Cordero Patterson jersey. I bought myself a Greg Jennings shirt. I bought myself a Teddy Bridgewater shirt. Like pretty much everything I've ever bought for myself, they just completely didn't work out. So I've decided You took
one of the boys' knees from Teddy Bridgewater.
I know, right?
With that fucking purchase,
bro. It's very worth it.
That's savage. When do the new jerseys usually come out? I think they're available right now, right?
They are. I mean, not the alternate ones. I don't know if when those would,
or even maybe the stitch ones even out. Is it just the print ons that are?
Oh, it might just be the print ones. Which I mean, if you're gonna go in on a jersey, I'm all for stitch. The print, not for me. You go stitched or go home for me. If you're gonna put the money in the jersey anyway.
And I do not buy any of mine from Chinese websites. I do not for
the Stephon Diggs jersey I got from a Chinese website was actually pretty legit.
Dude, you can. I do not get them from Chinese websites for $25 a pop instead of 200. I do not do that.
And all they are is like the purple is just a little bit off. Can't even really notice it.
Yeah, I don't do it though, so it doesn't really matter.
No, not at all.
I pay full price for every jersey I buy, no matter what. Hey everybody, we're about to give away the JJ McCarthy. I wish I would have a Justin Jefferson. I do not have one today, but the JJ McCarthy Bowman first rookie card Michigan jersey. Hopefully to get those Viking ones as soon as they drop. I should actually look into that. I saw there was cards that were coming out, but you're not really going to see a lot of the good ones come out until the start of the season. That's just kind of how it rolls out. But everybody in here, get those hashtag Skols in the comments, like the video, and subscribe if you have not already. What up, Roger?
We have 14 people in the house right now. We have 7 likes on YouTube. Bump those numbers.
Get those likes in here. Get those likes in here.
Yet, do it now, or forever lose your chance to win a JJ McCarthy rookie card.
I know. I have to see what I want next. I might get. I should see. I want to see here actually. Not too much, but I'd like to see if there's because I'd get like Dallas Turner, but I'm like Dallas Turner. You kind of would want him to be in a Vikings jersey for sure. I feel like because I would get him. Oh dang! Okay, there is some out. Ooh, so I might. You know what? Maybe I can get some JJ McCarthy in the Vikings jersey. There's not a lot out yet, so it's kind of tough to get them, it looks like. Yeah, so it might be kind of tough, but we'll get some soon. Those aren't going to be good ones anyways. Oh, shoot. I never even put up the thing.
Oh, boy. Well, now it's everyone's got to re-enter.
Let's see. Sometimes it doesn't make you do that, though. There we go. Oh, yeah. They let some people in here. All right, everybody. We got it. Kirk Cousins has a little wiener. Dude, that's crazy. That's what I put on it on this hashtag this time. No, I'm just kidding. That'd be funny, though. I mean, that'd be like a tough one for everyone. 6 entries. Only 6 entries given away no matter what. That's my bad. I put it in late. That's my bad. But you got to be here to win anyway. So get those hashtag Skols in the comments to win this JJ McCarthy rookie card of the future.
Ever since we asked, we did pick up about 4 to 5 more likes. So thank you everybody for following directions. We appreciate that.
Hell yeah.
Not out here trying to tell you what to do, but at the same time, I'm out here trying to tell you what to do.
Yeah, he does.
Are you a real YouTuber if you don't say smash like, hit subscribe?
Smash those like buttons. Tap them subscribe buttons.
Ring the bell so you don't miss any of the weekly.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's what you should be doing. Ringing the bell.
Podcast. Let's get into it.
There we go. We got a new one. Hey, what's going on, Chris Vinyl, bro? What's up, my guy? Welcome in.
So it looks like a lot of them looks like they're already it stayed on from.
Okay. Yeah, you got to be here to win anyway, you know. Mm-hmm. Got 11 likes, 13 concur. All right, we're going to give this away. All right, let me get this ready. All right, here we go. Got to be here to win. Y'all know the rules. 3, 2, 1, boom. Who we got? Today, Young Smokey came in with the Skol. You got to get the hashtag Skol, my man. Boom, Steve. Our boy, Steve.
Oh, boy.
Dang, we missed Smokey at the last second. Because I want this the most. Steve is the winner. Steve, you're in here, right?
It's gotta be.
I know he's gonna hang this one up.
In some other Minnesota sports news we can talk about here. Well, we kind of wait for Steve to answer if he's in here. So we just got done watching. Okay, he is here. Good. We just got done watching Anthony Edwards lead the Minnesota Timberwolves on one of their best seasons in a long ass time. Right. We got JJ McCarthy and Justin Jefferson extended in the house. We're all good there. Royce Lewis.
He is a Packers fan.
Royce Lewis comes back to the Minnesota Twins tomorrow. Things are looking up for young stars of Minnesota sports teams, and you absolutely love to see it.
Hey, Steve, you haven't actually like taken a card from us before, right?
Has he not?
He's won before, but I guess
them.
Steve, hit our email if you have not already, because I don't think you have.
Give the card to Skol Mafia. Okay.
Dang. Steve with that generosity. that Green Bay generosity, didn't know it was a thing. That's the first generous Packer fan I've ever met in my whole life.
Oh, zing. Boom, roasted.
Let's go, Skol Mafia. Steve, you're my guy for life, bro. I don't care if you're a Packer fan. Well, a little bit, but mostly don't care. Let's go. Let's go.
Jamie, we should have more JJ cards, right?
I have some more of them. I'm going to be keeping an eye out for the JJ cards and the Vikings jerseys too. So, but yeah, right now I could probably get more, but I'm like, I really want the freaking Viking jersey ones. But we'll see what happens. Oh yeah. Anyways, back to everything Casey was saying real quick. He was talking about Timberwolves, Royce Lewis. When does Royce Lewis come back?
Tomorrow. Yep. They sent on Eddie Julian today. There's one spot left on the roster. Everyone's thinking it's for him.
Kind of thinks that Julian didn't really show up the way he did last year.
Struggling, but he'll be all right.
But Royce Lewis back, and you have to be happy with the way the Twins have played.
Coming back, and he gets to make his season return in Yankee Stadium, which scares me quite a bit.
If anyone's going to beat the Yankees, it's him. You know what I'm saying? He's that guy. He's like the Anthony Edwards. Like Anthony Edwards is that guy where you're like, oh, you haven't made it this far in the playoffs, and then he does it, right? Royce Lewis is like, he's that guy. Like, oh, we always lose to the Yankees. He's that one to turn that, you know, because he's
for sure.
He's the boy. But yeah, back to the Timberwolves real quick. Overall, obviously, great season. You know, expectations going into playoffs, especially against the Suns, weren't extremely high. I mean, I think my expectations was like, we just need to take a series this year. That's all I want. So I'm like, I get, you know, the way they ended up losing that game wasn't the way we wanted, though we did see them sweep the Suns. We've seen them beat the Nuggets in game 7. So that's huge for us. So as far as this year's go, I think, you know, I'm happy with how all that rolled out. We all know Anthony Edwards is a star and going to be one of the best players in the NBA. It'll be awesome to watch him in the Olympics. But going forward now, expectations are changing. So it's kind of ship or bust at this, like moving forward here. So unless they
how does that affect the future of Carl Anthony Towns? Some may call him Cat. I call him something else that means cat. Sometimes it is what it is.
Casey's just a hater on Carl, on the boy. Big K.
Carl Anthony Towns is the Kirk Cousins of the Minnesota Timberwolves, where nobody will officially 100% buy in until he wins a championship.
Let's go, Kind. Yeah, bro. We'll have some more Michigan cards for you for sure. 100%. Let's go. Welcome aboard. Here. Yeah, let's go. Yeah, because I'm going to be the Lions Vikings game in Detroit with the Vikes here. Let's go. Hey, that's what's up. That's what we talking about. Cat is a Kentucky. Yeah, Young Smokey. I forgot. You're from that area, right? Kentucky specifically, or just that general area? Yeah, I still like Cat. I think I'm pretty sure we're going to run it back next year. I just can't see us not after a year like that. And if we weren't, we would probably have to trade. It'd be trading Cat or Rudy. I don't think we can really trade Rudy. Cat.
Rudy. I mean, just with everything you invested into Rudy.
Not to mention,
he feels borderline untradeable to me personally.
He does, and plus, you're not like, even with him being defensive player of the year, you just get that feeling you're not going to be getting that same value back
that you gave. Yeah, for sure.
That you gave him. The big thing
he was also very disappointing in the finals for sure.
The big thing though, I guess, is like we are like as far as Anthony Edwards getting older, you can just imagine that we should just be better and better as Anthony Edwards gets older. He should just keep getting good. But that being said, it does feel like we're missing some more scoring from guard position or wing position. So I know a lot of people I know there's people who have mentioned Garland. There's people mentioned Trae Young, which almost would be impossible with having Karl Anthony Towns on the books because we'd have to pay them. And then plus with Garland, I like the idea of Garland a lot, but there's like this thing saying that they're worried that like Garland isn't happy with his role next to Donovan Mitchell since he plays so much.
He doesn't want to come here and be.
So I'm like, Anthony Edwards is the guy. So, but Anthony Edwards is, I think, a little bit more forgiving as far as like he'll do some he'll pass and stuff like that. One guy that people are starting to bring up, which could be a possibility, is Colin Sexton, who plays really good defense, can drop like 20 points and has like a 39% 3-pointer. So if you can go grab like a guy like that, I do think Mike Conley's back. I want him back. I would love to run it back from him. Yeah, well, he's already signed his extension. Yeah. But I mean, he is older. He could always retire or something. I doubt he would do that.
No, not up to.
But still, you still feel like you need some sort of scoring there. So I don't know. But Anthony Harris should retire Timberwolves. Oh, dude, pay him. I mean, they could pay him. They could give him a 10-year extension right now. I don't even know if that's possible, but
hey, absolutely, man, absolutely,
100%.
Yeah, no doubts. Minnesota Vikings community is very open, unless you're a Kirk Cousins fan, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, we even got Packer fans in here, as you can tell.
That is true. That is true.
So you guys,
when do you guys go live? So we every other week. So basically,
every other week for both
next
shows.
Monday, but the Monday after we will. Then with Dave, it's every other week, but then every other stream we switch channels.
Alternate. So
it's kind of confusing. So we
won't be on.
We'd be on our channel on Wednesdays once a month.
And so we're twice a month. Oh wait, our channel once a month. Oh yeah. So every
Skol.
So we're going to
Sports podcast once a month.
Yeah, and we're alternating. We're alternating every week as far as our Monday shows and Wednesday shows. So this week's
we probably do a better job of keeping the community tab updated whenever on the morning that we are going to go live, so people know.
Yeah, maybe that's what we'll do. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that. But yeah, so Monday, so like we had our show today, so we won't have a show Wednesday. Next week, we won't have a show Monday, but we will Wednesday, which will be on our channel. Again, like Casey says, we do go every other Wednesday, or we go every other Wednesday on Dave's channel, all that kind of stuff. But we'll just keep updating the community tab. We'll have to do that. Oh, I won a card. Thanks, Steve. Love you guys. Great people. Hey, we love you too, Steve. I sent you that card, right, Sarah? You got that card that Steve gave you?
How do I find Dave's channel?
I'll put it in here.
Yeah. Might as well toss Rap in there too. Give him everybody.
Yeah, these are our boys for sure. This is the community you want to be a part of.
Community group on Facebook or anything? No, not necessarily. It's mainly just YouTube and Twitter.
Well, there's a Facebook community through Purple and Skol Media. If you look up Purple and Skol Media, we're connected with them as well.
Yeah, it's confusing. But yeah.
You're good. We never explained it.
We just kind of going with
it's alternate week, so pretty much no Wednesday show. Next week we'll have a Wednesday show, but no Monday show, and it'll just be like that. And we'll probably go back when training camp starts for at least our show every single Monday. But there's only so much going on. Luckily, we keep having our streams on days there's actually something happening. But speaking of that, mandatory minicamp starts tomorrow. It'll be interesting. Media will be there. We'll be able to get some real good insight on how JJ McCarthy looks and everything. We should be able to, hopefully we see some passes, JJ to JJ passes tomorrow as well.
Absolutely.
I'll get Vocal Mike in here. I'll get Vocal. That's our boy right there. Speaking of, we got to talk to him soon. Oh, he's actually live right now.
Live right now, yeah. We could jump right over there, Kinetic. After we're done, of course, which will be pretty shortly here.
Yeah, we're pretty much. All right, I'm dropping this in. Anyone that hasn't is not subscribed to Minnesota Sports Talk or Vocal Vike, y'all should definitely go doing that. Vocal Vike is live right now if you want to go check what he's all about, because that dude he's a natural. He's a natural at all of this. He's out of any of us, he probably is like, I don't know, the most charisma, I guess you'd say, right?
He's got that 5-star. He's got that 5-star Riz or whatever the hell.
Yeah, he's got that 5-star Riz for sure. So definitely go check out our boy Vocal Vike. He don't do giveaways though.
That is true.
Yeah, no, sometimes he will.
Every now and then, Dave will do a giveaway of some random office item he can find.
He doesn't ever send it to people.
He doesn't ever send it, but he says he will.
Good. Yeah.
All right, anything else before we sign off?
No, just that, man, future's looking bright for Minnesota sports, but Vikings too. JJ to JJ for at least 4 years for sure. So let's go.
Absolutely excited about it. It's the only thing that's going to be together that's going to happen for 4 years that I'm excited about. If you want to talk politics, which I really don't, but it's the only 4 more years I care about is Justin Jefferson's extension.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks again, everybody, for hopping in. As Jamie said, we will not see you Wednesday, but we will see you the next Wednesday. Though we do have a couple of videos we will be dropping this week, so make sure to keep an eye out for those. See you guys next time.
Skol Vikes.